Hi, I'm technology editor Dave Snelling, and after a massive week of news in the technology world, I'm here with Apple's John Ternus to talk about all the latest updates from the firm, including, I think, was one of the biggest changes to the iPhone in a very long time. So let's start with that, I guess, John. We have to talk about it. It's been the star of last week's keynote, the iPhone Air.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you could just tell us a bit more about it and why you think now. Obviously, we've seen big phones, plus phones, mini phones. Kind of why Apple thinks now is the time for what I guess you could call a skinny phone.
I think the iPhone Air is something that we've been thinking about for a while. We wanted to build a product like this, but to do it, we wanted to make sure that it was a great iPhone, like a great premium kind of pro quality iPhone, which means great battery life, great performance, great cameras, all the things you'd expect from an iPhone. And it's taken a while to kind of develop the technologies that could make that happen. And so some of the key technology that enabled it, first and foremost, is Apple Silicon, right? We have our A19 Pro processor, but now we also have C1X, the cellular modem, which is an Apple design modem, and we introduced N1, which is our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip. So having all that silicon in-house, our silicon team, they're so amazing at what they do, and they're always focused on efficiency, power efficiency. And so by making incredibly efficient silicon, the system just takes less power, which is great for battery life, right? Which obviously is a challenge when you're dealing with a thin phone. The other thing we've been working on for years, and you see the work of it in the Apple Watch and in AirPods, is just miniaturization in general. And the iPhone Air has the most densely packed main logic board that we've ever had in an iPhone. And so what that allowed us to do is really cram all of that electronics up here in the plateau area. And so if you look at a shot of the inside of the phone, it's almost all battery, for the rest of the phone. So that's enabled it to be really thin and have great battery life. But then, of course, if you're going to build something this thin, it also has to be really durable. And so the work that we've been doing over years in materials has enabled that. So we have this titanium frame, which is incredibly strong. We have, for the first time, ceramic shield on the back of the phone, which is incredibly durable and helps to the overall kind of strength and toughness of the phone. And then we have ceramic shield 2 on the front, which gives us 3 times better scratch resistance than our previous ceramic shield. So altogether, despite the fact that this phone is so light and so thin, it's actually more durable than any previous iPhone. And so we needed all those pieces to come together so that this could be the year of the iPhone Air.
I think it's one of those things. The pictures and video don't really do it justice.
No.
I think it's one of those things you've got to see in the flesh before you kind of believe it, really. Yeah. And I guess on that, what has been for the engineers at Apple the biggest challenge of creating the iPhone Air?
I think it's everything I just walked through. It's building. There were so many different technologies that had to come together to make this happen. And if you were missing one of them, you wouldn't be able to do it. It's the materials. It's the the efficiency of Apple Silicon. It's the processing design. The ceramic shield, the plateau here is very different than anything we've done in the past in that we're actually milling out the inside of it. So this is a cavity in here where we can put much of the electronics. So having the ability to kind of take the ceramic shield and shape it in that way and mill it in that way all required a bunch of innovation. So it was really all of those pieces coming together to make it possible.
You spoke about durability. I was lucky enough to see the bend test you guys do, which is, again, is very impressive. That's obviously been something that's been in the forefront of your minds to make sure that when people have it in their back pocket, it doesn't bend when they sit on it. So again, that's taken, I assume, some time to get the technology and the titanium frame strong enough?
Yeah, absolutely. From the beginning, we do so much testing on our phones before we ship them. Before we ship any particular iPhone, we've tested over 10,000 of them, right? And broken many, many thousands of them in that testing to find the weak points and figure out how to make them better. And our test suite is really broad and is based on real world usage. So we see what happens in the field and we build tests around that. And so we have a spec for bending based on years of shipping phones and knowing how strong they need to be, and the iPhone Air actually exceeds that spec.
One thing we heard a lot about eSIM. I feel like in the US, obviously you guys have been on eSIM for a while with all your phones.
For a couple of years,
I feel like in the UK we're a little bit behind, and I think people may be a little bit frightened by it. I've been on eSIM for a couple of years, and it's fine. It's actually brilliant, more better than a SIM card, to be honest. But I just wonder if you could maybe explain a little bit about why this phone's gone to eSIM, and also just why it's a much better option than having a physical SIM card.
Totally. So from we've been pushing on eSIM for a long time. In fact, that's how an Apple Watch works, right? And iPads use eSIM, and we've been doing it in phones for quite some time now as well. And I mean, as an engineer designing these products, the SIM actually is just very painful to me because it's a large piece of plastic that doesn't need to be that big, and it takes up a massive amount of space in the product. And so as we were designing this product, there was just no way we could afford to have that wasted space. And so we said, this has to be eSIM, completely. That's the way we're going to do it. We're going to continue to push, eSIM because we think it's the right technology. And in parallel with all this, we've been working over the years, and it sounds like you've experienced it, working with all the carriers throughout the world to really optimize the systems, getting up and running. And I think the experience is actually really, really good. It's super easy for travel. You can get your SIM before you even leave on your trip. It's all upside, and we just need to kind of continue rolling it out.
I know you don't talk about future products, but do you kind of hope, as Apple hope, everybody moves to eSIM in the future, because it is way better than SIM.
It's the right thing, and we'll continue to be pushing hard on the standard.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. One thing I did feel a little bit sad about this year was the iPhone 17, because I think that's an unsung hero of the keynote last week.
You don't have to feel sad about it.
Well, I do, because it got kind of overshadowed by all we'll talk about Cosmic Orange in a minute and the iPhone Air, but I think the iPhone 17 is the phone for everybody this year.
It's a fantastic product.
I mean, we've been asking for certain things like ProMotion display and all those things for a while. It's double storage. I just wondered why you guys did it this year in 2025, and yeah, I think it needs to be. I'm sure you will shout about it, but I think it's a great phone. It's probably one of my favourites of the year, just because it's got everything that I've asked for.
That's great. There you go. Well, we're happy to make you happy with it. But no, I think we're always pushing the envelope on our Pro products, right? And then looking for opportunities to bring the features that kind of resonate with the most people and bring them down to the other products. And so iPhone 17, it was just a big leap. Like you said, it got that ProMotion display. It also got Ceramic Shield 2 on the front. And actually, one of the things that we're really proud of and excited about is that center stage front camera, which is on all of the new phones, and is an amazing experience for taking selfies, right? You can hold the phone in portrait the way you naturally want to do it, and you can still take landscape pictures. I think people are going to love it, and it's great that that's there in the iPhone 17 as well.
Yeah, I think it's. There's some new colours, I guess, this year as well, and a slightly bigger
6.3 inch display.
6.3 inch. So it's all around. It seems like a pretty solid drop. And no price, same price in the UK as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I think this year for us was a really exciting opportunity to just rethink the iPhone lineup. And I think what we have is, as you pointed out, an incredible iPhone 17, something entirely new in iPhone Air, and then by pushing that way on iPhone Air, it allowed us to take the Pros, 17 Pro and Pro Max, and make them even more Pro, right? And better in performance and battery and all those things. And so it's a really strong lineup.
I've moving on to the Pro. Obviously, we need to talk about Cosmic Orange, because that is bold. I mean, I think it's. I mean, most people have seen it, seem to love it. I think it's it's a great colour.
Yeah, it does seem like a hit.
It just seems like a hit. It's a bold shade. I just wondered, those people who maybe are slightly more neutral, why there's no black this year, and why you described this maybe, as they've been saying, orange is the new black.
Well, I think we have an amazing design team that's always spending a lot of time on colors. And one of the things that was really special about this year is we took the iPhone Pro and we moved it from titanium to aluminum. And we did that because we felt, this is the way we always approach this, is let's use the right material for the application. Aluminum has much better thermal conductivity, and as I said, we want to push on performance. It's a big win for that. It allows for lower weight and a similar size, because lower density than titanium, which allowed us to pay into battery, which is also something we want to do. But one of the great things with aluminum is it takes color really well when you anodize it. And so the design team was super excited to come out with these new colors. We have deep blue, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous color, and then of course Cosmic Orange, and we have our kind of classic Apple Silver. So we're really excited about the color range.
So I guess that's what I know. We're talking about the vapor chamber inside the new Pro as well, but obviously the titanium was a big deal in the iPhone 15, iPhone 16 Pros. Moving to aluminium, is a part of that is the design change, and I assume the cooling of the phone. Is that right?
Absolutely. Because like I said, we wanted to push on performance, and if you think about performance in a phone, first and foremost, is how good is your SoC? And good news is we have Apple Silicon, which is the best in the world, and so that's amazing. But then it's also a question of how much can you pull, how effectively can you pull the heat out of the SoC when you're running under a heavy workload? And the vapor chamber is a big part of that. So this allows us to take heat and quickly pull it away from the SoC and actually transmit it into the aluminum. And so we're spreading the heat over a much larger surface area than we would have been in the past, which allows for 40% better sustained performance than the previous phones. And for a similar workload, it actually feels it's just a lot cooler in your hand, which I think people are going to really enjoy.
And just so our readers can understand, the reason for the sort of two-tone on the back is for MagSafe, is it? To be able, am I right in thinking?
Oh, yeah. So this is a ceramic shield back here.
Okay.
And the reason we did ceramic shield here, because obviously you've got great protection from the aluminum around it, but it's also ceramic shield because it allows us to go thinner than if it had been glass, which of course then allows for more battery. But yes, you need an RF transparent material here so that you can still have the MagSafe charging, and so that's a key part of it as well. Yeah.
I've got to ask. It's a bit like saying who's your favourite child, but which would you tell us maybe which of this year you're most proud of? Which phone you're most proud of this year, perhaps?
I think actually the thing I'm most proud of is the lineup, because like I said, we really have been thinking about this lineup for a while, and this was our chance to kind of rethink the iPhone line. And so I look at it in its totality. iPhone Air was something totally new that we pushed in a different direction. That it's been really fun since the intro. I've had the pleasure of watching a number of people experience it for the first time, and it's like you said, you can hear about it, you can see pictures, but when you pick it up and you watch people pick it up and they look at it and go, wow. I mean, it's like such a common reaction. So that's been really fun, but then that gave us the freedom to make the Pros even more pro, and then as you pointed out, make the iPhone 17 so great. So to me, what I'm most proud of is that we've been able to deliver this incredible line of phones. We think there's something great for everybody there, and I can't wait for people to get them tomorrow.
And I assume that something people might not be aware of yet is the new accessories, like with there's the straps.
Crossbody strap, and we have new cases. We have our tech woven cases, which are really nice. The silicone cases, the clear cases, and yeah, the crossbody straps, so people can wear their phone, their iPhone Air, or iPhone Pro, or iPhone 17. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
I guess one final question would be, obviously the Air is we've slimmed that phone down. Is this? I know again you don't talk about future products, but can we expect things to maybe get slimmer across the board, or is it just the fact this is just such a different sort of phone you guys have created this year for a different market?
Well, I think this is a different phone, and like I said, I mean, the fact that we are pushing one way with the Air allows us to be even more focused on making the Pros more pro, so those are different. But what I will say is, when we develop technologies and we develop kind of expertise in one area, it tends to show up in other places, right? Like I said before, the miniaturization we've pushed so hard on in AirPods, that learning and that kind of engineering know-how was instrumental in driving some of these things on the phone. So it's often common with us over time to see kind of ideas pop up in different places as we take advantage of them.
Amazing. Thanks, John. Well, also, thanks very much for leaving the sunny climes of California to come and see us in
It's actually not so bad here.
Less gloomy London. So thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Thanks, John.
So, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.